What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to GAA Fan TV, the show that keeps you up to date with everything that is happening in the world of both GAA, football and hurling. And yeah guys, Galway are the Connacht champions. What a result that is for Galway. I certainly wasn't expecting it coming from the first half. Roscommon dominated the early stages, dominated the first half, of course, getting that goal. What a finish it was in the second half, in particularly that penalty from Conor Devaney. But in the end, Galway pulling through, getting the response, and yeah, Galway are the Connacht champions, and they go into the Super 8 Championship. For me, I think they are a very, very good team. I think we see when they attack, they have the capabilities of being one of the best teams in the country, in my opinion. Probably still a bit behind Dublin and Kerry, in my opinion. And if they were to play Mayo or something like that, or Tyrone in an All-Ireland semi-final, it'd be very, very interesting to see how they'd get on. But the whole defensive approach, I understand it, because they're trying to not concede too much at the back. Roscommon are a very, very attacking team, so I can slightly understand it. But certainly going forward, they're a lot better. Players like Damien Comer, Shane Walsh was outstanding in this game, hitting 8 points, and they just had too much in the end for Roscommon. One thing I would say though for Galway is that they won't get away with that sort of style of play in the first half against the Dublin, against the Kerry, or even against the Mayo. If Mayo are in the mood and are playing as good as they can do around that All-Ireland semi-final stage, then the game probably would have been over by half time, in my opinion. Dublin would have kicked a number of points, for example. Roscommon didn't take the advantage, especially in the second half as well. They dropped off massively. I think that is a bit of a worry for Kevin McStay, because this isn't the first time we've seen this happen with Roscommon. We've seen last season at Croke Park in the game against Mayo, even in the first game against Mayo at Croke Park, where they sort of dropped off a bit in the second half, allowed Mayo to come back, and then it went to a replay. So Roscommon, maybe there's a confidence thing. When other teams start, building momentum, they struggle to try and stop that. I think that's mostly due to a lack of inexperience. This is a young Roscommon team, let's not forget. And although Galway, they're sort of a young team as well, but they're just a bit more experienced. Been to the league final this year, Connacht final last year. I think if Galway had lost this final, there would have been big questions asked of Galway, because that would have been a third major final in a row that they would have lost in Gaelic football. So big result for them. Damien Comer didn't have his best game, to be honest, but in the second half, he got a big point there towards the end when they most needed it. And of course, Shane Walsh was outstanding for Galway. And yeah, I'm very interested to see now, of course, how they get on in the Super 8 Championship, how it pans out, of course. For those of you who don't know, Super 8 Championship is the new format for the All-Ireland series. So instead of straight shootout in the quarterfinals, there's going to be two separate groups of 4, and the top 2 from each group go into the All-Ireland semi-finals. And in each group, there will be 2 provincial winners. So for example, let's just say Leinster champions and Connacht champions are in one group, then that would be, as we would presume, Dublin and of course Galway. So, and then of course the other 2 teams in that same group being 2 teams coming from the qualifiers. So that'll be interesting to see how it goes. But fantastic result in the end for Galway. And moving across to hurling, what a result this was for Clare, who beat Limerick in the end pretty comfortably, in fact. And yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with Limerick. I thought they could have done a lot better in this game, in my opinion. Of course, maybe the constant flow of matches has sort of interrupted their rhythm a bit. We know that some teams have struggled with having consecutive games every week, but look, listen, we can't really use that as an excuse, because Clare had a pretty intense game last week when they played Tipperary, and of course that game went literally down to the last minute. But Clare, they are building a lot of momentum at the moment. They're a team that has got better each week. Every week I've seen them, they've got a lot better. They're going into that Munster final. For me, I think they're going in as favourites. I'm not too sure if they actually are the favourites or not, but for me, I would back them to win that Munster final. I think they're up there as being serious All-Ireland contenders, in my opinion. Let's not forget, a lot of the players they have won the All-Ireland back in 2013, so it's not like they don't have experience with winning an All-Ireland. Some of them actually do. And when you look at the core front of their team, especially in this game, Peter Duggan, what a performance again. I mean, he was outstanding in the game against Tipperary, especially towards the end. And now in this game, 13 points he hit. in this game against Limerick. And of course, John Conlon as well, 4 points, was fantastic as well. And just a really good result for Clare. As for Limerick, you know, as I said, probably ran out of steam. Looks very tired in that second half. Just didn't have the momentum or the belief to get back in the game. But yeah, they will go into obviously the All-Ireland quarter-finals against, I believe, Carlow or Westmeath. We have to see what happens with the Joe McDonagh Cup before we know which team they play. But great result nonetheless for Clare. Obviously Cork, they got a big result against Waterford, battling from behind. Of course, this turned out to be Derek McGrath's final game in charge of Waterford. He stepped down earlier today, or yesterday I should say. And yeah, he stepped down. He's no longer the manager of Waterford. And yeah, it's disappointing. You know, you look how close Waterford were last year, All-Ireland finalists. I suppose there's a thin line sometimes between success and failure. I don't think you can really call his time as manager as a failure. They were not expected to reach an All-Ireland final last year. But certainly this year, big disappointment for me. Yes, they had big injuries, but I expected more from them in my opinion, and they would have been eyeing up a top 3 finish in my opinion, but they didn't do it. But look, listen, great response from Cork, battling back from behind, late on, showing real belief towards the end of the game. I think it could have been very easy for them to, you know, just let this game go and just take third spot in the Munster Championship, but they battled back late on. They showed a lot of spirit, they showed a lot of heart, and they got a magnificent victory to put them into the Munster final. Guys, it's all really beginning to heat up at the moment in a lot of the provincial championships. Of course, you know, we have one provincial winner now in Galway in football. Of course, next weekend we've got 3 provincial finals in football from Leinster, Munster and from Ulster, and I'm very interested to see how they go. Of course, the qualifiers are taking shape as well. You know, the hurling finals, which I think are going to be very interesting from both Munster and Leinster. You know, we're looking at Galway and Kilkenny. Huge matchup between 2 of the best teams in the country, in my opinion. And same it can be said for Clare and Cork. I mean, there's no doubt these are, you know, 4 of the best counties in the country, but I mean, you can't discount Limerick or Wexford either. And even the 2 teams coming from the Joe McDonagh Cup, Carlow and Westmeath, are both looking very good as well. So yeah, I mean, the competition at the moment in hurling, I mean, you couldn't call it in my opinion. I think you could rule out Carlow or Westmeath for the All-Ireland, but I think looking at those other 6 counties, it could be anyone's in my opinion. But yeah guys, that is going to be the end of the video. Let me know what you thought about this, about some of my opinions on the games. Let me know what you thought about some of these games, and yeah, feel free to leave a comment down below. And yeah guys, I will talk to you later. Alright, peace.